Right guys, welcome back to Katran TV UK. You're joining me today down on one of my carp fishing syndicates in Kent, and it's now smack bang in the middle of February. So as you'll be able to see from the trees and stuff behind me, it's still very much winter. As I said, we're only in February, and you wouldn't think it because today is about 10-11 degrees, which is lovely. I can sit out here in a hoodie and I don't feel cold whatsoever. It's absolutely lovely, especially after some of the old bitter cold spats that we have had. Now, why have I chose this syndicate? Main reason is I needed to get out and do a little bit of media for Katran. So I had some shoot bits for new products that I've had to do, and a lot of the gear from Katran I can't actually use around my other syndicate because it's more strict rules around there. This one allows you to use pretty much most things, and they trust the angler to be sensible, which is nice. And the only ban on here really is nuts and plastics, as far as I'm aware. The guys are quite trusting, to be fair, with the anglers, and it makes them less on edge. So, what am I doing for the session? It's now, what is it? It's about 5 o'clock, I think, so we are losing light rapidly. I didn't get over here till about 3 p.m. But I've decided to go very minimal for my left-hand rod and my middle rod. I've decided to keep those two a very small amount of bait with a very delicate rig setup, let's say. It is my normal rig setup that I'd use, a slip D rig with a wafter, orange hell wafter. And I'm fishing that on a Komodo leader leg clip system. Now, the left rod going towards a little cutout straight in the middle of the island is in a lovely little zone of about 4 foot in depth. Really nice clean bottom, getting a nice drop on it. So I know either way I'm presenting, I don't have to rely on a pop-up to present over anywhere there. And I'm using a little tiny handful of Creamino pellets from Baitworks and some of the Creamino boilie crumbed into a very fine dust pretty much, and then stuck in a stocking and put over on the spot. Now it's very minimal. I'm relying on the bright orange on the wafter to actually entice the bite there, and I've got a very same setup for the middle rod, which is heading out towards the tip of the island, right underneath the overhanging tree, right on the tip there. Again, that's about 3.5–4 foot depth of water, coming up from a bit of a deeper zone there of 5.5. So I've just got this feeling that having that nice little lift onto a little bit shallower water there might be a nice little zone to catch any sort of carp that are hovering over on their routes around the island. So very minimal bait, and the same tactic for both rods on the first rod and the middle rod. Now I've gone total polar opposite for my third rod. I've actually put 3.5 kilo of bait out on the boat and then dropped a stiff-hinged rig over the top. You have to bear with me here. It's a very busy train route right behind me. The train track actually backs right behind me here, and the trains are very frequent. So sorry about that. But like I was saying, we've got the third rod as a stiff-hinged rig, and I've dropped it over 3.5 kilo of bait that I stuck out with a bait boat. Now that's a mix of Baitworks Creamino boilies, crushed and whole, and some of the Creamino pellet. And I'm hoping that that is a good move, but I thought, you know what, one rod, big amount of bait, outside the box a little for winter, could just be the ticket to a nice big old chunk. But I know it's a very out there tactic for now, but we'll see. I've got to be here anyway to do some of this media, so I've got 2 rods that I've got very light winter tactics, and then I know the right one, very anti-winter really. But we'll see, it might be the one that does it. Now guys, I'm going to talk you through some of the new products coming up over this vlog. Show you through some of the new gear that Katran brought out for the year. 2024, we've released quite a few new products, some really great stuff, including the new Phantom on 50 metre spools, There's the Krypton in 25 pound, the Raptor, amazing product. So you're definitely going to want to see that one if you haven't already. But for now, it's getting dark. I need to get everything sorted for night because everything's still everywhere at the minute. I just got the rods out and I thought, we're losing light, let's get on it. The moon's coming through now actually. We've got about 3/4 of the moon popping his head out. Anyway, I'll catch you up in a bit, guys. See you soon. Well, very good morning, guys. It's now 8 in the morning and my left rod's ripped into action and it's resulted in this beautiful 34-1 mirror. So I'm absolutely elated with this. Middle of February to come out and get a result like this, I'm proper chuffed, more than made up. This one's falling to the left rod, which was going to the gap in the island, and with that, very minimal bait, barely any bait at all to be fair, just a handful of pellet, some creamino boilie crumb, and that's what's done the damage. So let's turn you around, mate. Let's have a look at the other side of her. Oh, God. She's very cold to touch. You're like an ice block, ain't you, bud? Come on. Well, there's the other side of her. So like I said, she's an absolute stunner. Beautiful carp. Not bad for a middle of February day. I'm proper happy with this. So yeah, this one was again we've done this one on a slip D, very minimal amount of bait there, and it's worked a treat. Right guys, well good afternoon. It's been a hell of a morning, having that lovely 34-pound mirror earlier. To say I'm sort of stoked is an understatement. Middle of February to have a carp like that, I'm absolutely buzzing with it. Now, I thought the best thing I could do now is actually show you the rig that I had the fish on, and it's also the same rig that's on my middle rod as well, because the identical setups went out on the left and the middle rod. As you'll notice, it's a lot cooler today. I've had to put layers on. Yesterday was lovely. I could sit out here in a hoodie. It was lovely and comfy, but today it's definitely taken a turn and you can really feel that difference in the temperature. So hopefully keeping these tactics is going to still be the way for tonight going into the morning. But what we could do is keep your fingers crossed and hope so. Right, the rig that I've been using, as I mentioned earlier, is a slip D. Now, there's so many variations going on with these slip D rigs now, but this is the one that I tend to use. It's really easy to tie, and it's so quick when you just need to whack a new hook on. Now, the main component here is the Katran torrential in 25 pound. So for me, this hook link is an absolutely amazing middle ground hook link. Now, when I say middle ground, the reason being is that I find it's the perfect middle of a supple to a stiffer material. Now, some people might say it's a bit too soft. If you're fluorocarbon person who loves a fluorocarbon rig, it's nowhere near got the boom potential that that's got, so don't even expect it to. But for me, it's got enough bounce that it's not going to go wonky donkey as it goes down and tangle up. Trying to get it to tangle isn't easy, put it that way. But it's also got enough suppleness that when it's on the action end and it's got to do what it has to do and nail that carp, that it will do that. So you haven't got to worry about it being too stiff, you ain't got to worry about it being too soft. It's definitely that middle ground rig material. Now it strips easy, and also I absolutely love the colour of Tarantula. It's like a silk black, and for me it's definitely one of my favourite hook links in the range. So let's start from the top of the rig. Also, we've got a J Precision long shank micro barbed hook. Then on the slip D section there, we've got a micro ring swivel for your bait attachment. Then, as you'll see there, I've got a kicker. Now, it's not your normal sort of kicker that you're going to see. This is actually the Thinking Angler's curved kicker, and that is more like a withy pole style kicker. Now, I know to look at it, it looks quite obtrusive, but for me, the hooking potential when using that kicker is amazing. So as we come down back off of the soft uncoated section there, between as it goes to the coated part, I've just got a tiny little bit of tungsten putty there. And then coming up to the top of the rig, just an anti-tangle sleeve. Now I'm fishing this wafter style, so I'm having a little hell wafter attached to the bait swivel. But you've also got the potential to make this one into a pop-up rig at any given point, because it will work tremendously as that as well. It's definitely a both sort of rig. You can go pop-up or you can see it on the deck or waft it. So yeah, for me it's a great rig. It's nailed plenty of fish, and I'll tell you what, it's so easy. Let's go and see how we tie it, and you'll be tying them yourself hopefully, and it might help you in your own fishing going forward. Right guys, so as you can see there, we've got the rig itself. So this is the one that's already done, but what I'm going to do is, as it's so quick and easy to tie, I'm going to show you exactly how we do it. So let's get rid of this one. Now the first thing you're actually going to need is your Tarantula hook link from Katran. So the Tarantula comes in, I think it's £15 and £25. This is £25 version. I like a little bit of strength to my hook links, and I find that the 25's got a little bit more of a kick on it. So for me, that's absolutely perfect. So what we're going to do is going to strip off about, let's say 16 inches of the hook link material there. And then you're literally just going to strip off about 4 inches of the coating. So I ain't measuring it. I know my old mate Luke, he'll be measuring this up, but I tend to eyeball it. It's better to measure, but I'm going to eyeball it. So yeah, so you stick that on your stripper tool, get rid of that. So now you've got your coated section and you've got your uncoated section. So your next step is you're going to tie a figure of 8 overhand loop in the rig material. So you're literally just going to double it over. So this is what you got. Hoping you can see that. I'm going to spread out the loop a bit to make it a bit more visible. So yeah, that's what you're going to do. Now just a straightforward overhand loop, figure of 8. You're going to pull it down as far as you can get it to the bottom. So now as you can see, I've got the knot coming down right to the bottom. I've slipped it down just so I can do it. And then once you've got it down to there, you're just going to take your rig, your pulling tool. Sorry, my hands are a bit cold today. It's not exactly warm out. And you're just going to pull that. There you go. Give it a good bit of welly. That ain't going anywhere now. So now you've got your loop. You've got a little bit of a tag end there. Now, when you cut your tag end off, don't cut it too close. I know it makes it a lot tidier when it's nice and close, but it's nice to have that little bit of a tag in there, just for a little bit of security. I mean, it won't pull, not of a overhand figure of 8, that's not pulling, but it's just nice to know that you've got that little bit. Well, for me anyway. So, next step, you're just going to take your J Precision size 4 long shank. Try and get that to in the camera, just there. And you're going to take, get rid of that, your loop that you just made, and this is your slip section. So all you're going to do, pass it up through the eye of the hook, going in from the underside, like that. And you're going to take yourself a micro ring swivel, little bait swivel, micro ring swivel, whatever you want to call them. That goes on and after the hook. So now, that's sharp, very sharp J Precision. So yeah, so you've got your micro ring swivel, bait swivel. And all you're going to do now, just put that hook through the loop and then pull it down. Now, some people like to have their slip D section up here, but I like to get mine sort of right down on the lower part of the shank, right there. Now, from there, you're going to take your curved kicker, and all you've got to do is put your end part of your hook length straight through the fat end of the curved kicker, like that. And work the kicker down to the bottom, and then stick that right over the eye. Oh, I've just pulled the slip D right down. What a donut. Now these are quite tight, so you do have to work these on, but they do go just fine. You just got to work them in. Just a couple of mil down past the actual eye itself. And as you can see there, what you've now got is your perfect curved, almost like a wivvy pole, because it's a wivvy sort of kicker, but not quite. So yeah, bottom part's done. Next part we've got to do is just a little bit of the putty. So I'm using the OMC one. There's plenty of other good ones out there, but this one I do actually like. It does stick really, really well, and I haven't had any issues with it coming off. So you can see there your hook, your slip D section, your micro ring swivel for your bait, your curve kicker, and then a little bit of putty up the tarantula to an anti-tangle sleeve. If you're looking to fish this sort of pop-up style, obviously very easy. You're just going to stick your pop-up on there instead of a wafter. Your putty will stay on the bottom, and then your rig will obviously sit up lovely, almost, well, like a wivvy pole. Pretty much that's what the kickers are designed for. But it does fish really, really effectively as a wafter presentation as well. I found it a brilliant rig, and hopefully this might just be a rig that you can put into your own fishing, and it does you a few bites. Right guys, well, we're about an hour away now from it getting dark, so it's time to redo the rods. Just before it gets too dark to see anything, I'm going to get them out ready for the night. So I know there's fresh rigs, fresh bit of bait over on the left and the middle rod. So as I said earlier, the setup itself, comprises of Komodo chain core from Katran. So I've got a good metre length for that on there. Coming down to a leg clip system. So this is actually the Calder quick change leg clip system. And then we've got the rig that we tied a little while ago. So the Slip D wafter rig. I've got my little orange hell wafter on there. Now what we're going to do is, like I told you earlier, we actually made a little PVA bag of just boilie crumb. So I'm just going to put that there a sec. Now as you'll see in there, that is literally just boilie crumb, Cremino boilie, granulated down to a proper dust. So I'm not looking to put a hell of a lot of bait over on that rod. So what we're going to do now, using some of your chosen mesh PVA stocking, I'm using the PVA Organics from Katran. This is the 24mm version. I find that this one is right when you're casting a rod onto a spot. Now, another little thing that I like to do is I'll take a PVA nugget and I'll just stick that in the stocking first. Now, it's all about how you put this in to getting the result you need. So what I tend to do is fold the nugget, or drop the nugget, fold the nugget just in half so you can slide that down to the bottom. So you're going to take your plunger, get it right down to the bottom, and I'll show you why in a little while, but hopefully you can just see in there. Then you're going to take your boilie dust, boilie crumb, or your micro pellets if you want to. All I'm going to do, pour a bit of that into my hand because it's easier to stick into the tube. More fingers and thumbs today. And you're going to just fill your stocking up with a little bag of the crumb. Compact it down nice and tight. Yeah, that's tight enough. Right, slide that through. Tie it off. All the usual steps. Do me a little knot so I can snip it next time. So as you'll see there, it's just a little bag. I'm just going to trim that down. I've left my scissors in the bivvy, like a wally. So I'm going to trim that bit off. We don't want all that baggy stock in there. So now I've got the perfect little bag. Let's get you nice and close to that so you can see. And then we're going to just whack that on to the hook. And the reason I put that foam in was, it's probably obvious now to be fair, but when I'm casting out, I can literally take the hook from my rig and just hook it through into the foam, and then I know that on the cast all I've got is the hook point buried in foam, so I ain't going to catch no little bits of stuff from the little bait stocking. It's going to just be going through a PVA foam, and as it hits down, goes to the bottom, it's going to come off of the hook lovely. If you give it a little wiggle as well, it just stops you getting that little bit of foam that sometimes goes all stodgy and sticks on the hook end, but we shouldn't be getting that. So right, we're ready to put this one over on the island now. Let's get it out. So this year's been exciting in the way of product launch. Katran released a load of new products last month at the Carp Boss show, and they're now available over at Riglocker.co.uk and other Katran sellers. If you're looking for any new fluorocarbon, then I can highly recommend, if you haven't already, trying the Phantom. So the Phantom isn't a new product to the range, it's an existing product, but the difference is now we've got 50 metres on a spool. Now for someone like me, I do use a lot of fluorocarbon. I use a lot of stiff hinged rigs in my fishing, I use D rigs in my fishing, and even sometimes on my slip Ds I'll have the boom is actually Phantom fluorocarbon. So I do go through this stuff. The other benefit with Phantom is this, the 0.50 is great if you want to use it as a leader. It just works brilliantly if you can't use lead core and you just want something nice and see-through and clear that sinks like a brick to get on your leader there. Brilliant for that. If you're using it on the boom, I would recommend the 0.45 if you're looking for it just on like a stiff hinged boom on a D-rig material. 0.45 is great for that. So like I say, it's not a new product, but it's on 50 metre spools and it's got a brand new sexy outfit. I absolutely love the design of these now. I think they're very eye appealing, and I always like it when I'm reaching for one in the tackle box because it looks so much nicer now. So another big product from the launch is Raptor. So there's a lot of buzz about the Raptor at the moment online. It's a 3-core leader, which means there's no lead core in it. It's totally free from lead core. There's no chain, there's nothing. It's just a lead-free leader. So this comes on 10 metre spools on a 60-pound breaking strain at just 0.9 diameter. It's absolutely amazing material and it is super strong. If you wanted to see a video on just how to splice it, because it's a little bit different to if you're splicing lead core, there's a little bit more twerking involved to get it done. With lead core, you'll pump the needle straight through, easy job, bosh. But with the Raptor, you've sort of got to work the material down the needle rather than vice versa. Twisting the fibres on it, we've found to be absolutely brilliant to make it easier. Luke Shepherd from Riglocker actually told me that, and after having a go myself spinning the fibres, it's a hell of a lot easier to splice. So once you've done it once, I think you'll find you're golden. Don't be worried about the splicing of it, it's not hard. Now, you casters who need something that's going to be strong and keep up to the challenge, then definitely check out the Raptor, especially where lead core is banned. A product for you casters out there, talking about casting, if you're a big distance caster, you've got to hit mega distances, then Galaxy Camo Tapered Mono Shock Leader. So you get 5 pieces in the package. They go from 0.26 up to 0.47, and you get 12 metre length of each one. So if you're looking for something that you can use for your distance casting in mono, then check out the Galaxy Camo. Well, I've got a train going past. They're so noisy down here, these. The next product, there's a lot of hype again, because any of you guys who have been using Krypton, you know how amazing it is. If 21 pound Krypton weren't strong enough, we now have 25 pound Krypton. So for me, 21 pounds never been an issue. It's always done exactly what I need it to, but now we've got a heavier one because it will sink quicker, bigger diameter, and 25 pound is super strong. So 21 I can't break, so God knows what it's going to be like with a 25 pound. So that's it, guys, really. There's a few other new products in the range, but you can check them out on over at Riglocker, or you can go to Katran.eu and check them out there. Well, guys, it's the morning now. It's absolutely freezing and nothing's occurred. So I got lucky. I managed to have the one, so I'm happy with that. I'm going home with a smile on my face. No miserableness here today. I better get myself to work now. But I will catch up with you on the next one. Thank you very, very much for watching. Don't forget, if you did enjoy the video, please subscribe and like the video. And I'll see you soon. All the best.